Sunderland are full of talented players and currently have two of the most highly touted young English midfielders in Jobe Bellingham and Chris Rigg taking up their ranks of the midfield, and are surrounded by other incredibly talented players like Wilson Isdior, Dan Neil, Dan Ballard, and in goal Anthony Patterson. And today I want to add to that young talent and take Sunderland to being the best team in England while signing Wonderkids and bringing this once great club back to the top. And we'll be starting out using a Sunderland system which I have tried to build a little bit like their current manager, and the team looks a little bit like this, with Anthony Patterson in goal, who is a fantastic young goalkeeper. This guy is just 23 years of age and he has 20 determination, and if you know FM, that is fantastic. He has great area reach and jumping reach. He's 6'1", consistent and likes big matches, is a leading championship goalkeeper and potential to be a good Premier League goalkeeper. So this guy really is good enough to go all the way with us until we become Premier League champions, and that is when this rebuild will end. We're going to go until we make the Mackems Premier League champions. But it doesn't stop there, because to be honest, there is a lot of fantastic young talent. At right back we have Trey Hume, who is a Northern Irish 21-year-old recently signed from Linfield, who could also come to the very top. With us at left back, an on loan signing of Dennis Churkin, who I am tempted to try and get back because he is also fantastic, and we are using him as a wing back on attack, and he's going to be influential throughout this whole rebuild, as will Daniel Ballard. This guy is the epitome of a solid championship centre-back, and we're looking to making a Premier League player as well. He has played at Blackpool, at Millwall, and now at Sunderland, and he's done a fantastic job. Great heading, good physicals, great mental stats for just 23 years of age, and is a true leader at the back. We have Chris Mentham on loan as well from Bournemouth, which is a very decent player to have on loan at 25 years of age. And I've realised Dennis Churkin isn't on loan. Apologies, he is here full time, which is great. Someone that is on loan is Enzo Lefebvre. What on earth is this guy doing in the Championship? I've got absolutely no idea. He is a fantastic talent. I'm probably not going to bring him back after the first season, but we're going to see if he can help us get Premier League football. Now, for this first season, I'm going to lock in this midfield duo, Jobe Bellingham and Chris Rigg. Now, Chris Rigg is just a 2-star player, 16 years of age, 5-star potential, and I'm going to have this guy in midfield for the whole of this rebuild. Regardless, if he doesn't grow or whatever, this guy's going to come with us. I'm absolutely sure he is going to grow, and I'm absolutely sure he's going to break into that England team as well, alongside Jobe Bellingham. At 17 years of age, this guy is absolutely incredible. His stats are so well-rounded for this stage of his career at 17 years of age. He could play DM, centre mid, cam, or even striker. I'm not sure where he's going to settle up. He could end up being a striker for us, or he could be in this dangerous midfield duo with Chris Rigg for the rest of this rebuild. On the left wing, we're going to be using Romain Mundle for this season. Another youngster, believe it or not, 20 years of age. This one's slightly less talented according to Football Manager, but in real life, his stats look absolutely fantastic. And on the right side, it's Patrick Roberts, who is a very interesting player, has had a career at Manchester City, signed for £5 million when he was a youngster at Fulham back in 2016, and has been on loan more times than I've had hot dinners, and that's a lot of times. He is now cooking at Sunderland in the Championship, and this season in real life has been influential to their playoff push currently. It looks like they're going to finish. And up front is Wilson Isdior, and also looks absolutely fantastic. Consistent, likes big matches, 22 years of age, good finishing, good composure. And I've got a family member who is a Sunderland fan, and they were very worried at the start of the season, purely based off where their goals were going to come from. And when you do sort this team by strikers, they have a Nazir Rusin, who was a potential to start at the start of the season. Didn't work out. He's been loaned out. They have Wilson Isdior, and they have 18-year-old Eliza Mayenda. Other than that, goals are not coming from the strike partnership, and that is why Jobe Bellingham ended up playing up front for them and being absolutely fantastic. It does look like, though, in recent weeks, and probably a little bit longer than that, this has been the settled best team, and it is absolutely fantastic. And to be honest, it doesn't even stop there, because there are some fantastic players that are not in this starting lineup. Salis Abdul Samed is on loan and looks brilliant. Dan Neil is 21 years of age and a fantastic all-rounded midfielder. I think probably long term, this guy is our DM ahead of Enzo Lefebvre. and we have Chris Rigg and Joe Bellingham in front. And we're probably set for a Premier League winning team with that three in midfield, which is unbelievable. Alan Brown is another rotation midfielder. Out on loan, we have Timothy Pembele, who's a 5-star Wonderkid right back, and Abdullah Bar, who's a Mauritian 5-star Wonderkid winger. The talent just carries on coming. Luke O'Neill is a fantastic well-rounded midfielder and defender. Niall Higgins is a wing-back. Pierre Ekwe is a backup midfielder. A.G. Alese, a young centre-back. Jewison Benete is a 5-star super speed winger as well, who we've not even touched on. He could be elite for us. Nectar Triantis, Jason Snell, Leo Fielde, Ian Pervader. I mean, Wonderkids wise, I have never seen an actual real life team built quite like this. The oldest player is 33, 28, 28, and then 26 at Patrick Roberts is the most experienced, which is incredible. We're going to the development centre. We also have Milan Eksic, who is an unexperienced, a 17-year-old Serbian striker, does just have 3 determination, so probably isn't going to become anything in this save for us, but it is incredible, the youngsters we have here at Sunderland, and we're probably going to get more throughout this rebuild as well. We have an unbelievable training facilities of 4.5-star, 4-star youth facilities as well, and 2-star youth recruitment, which of course we are going to attempt to grow. Now, currently in real life, Sunderland are sitting, I believe, in 5th place as of recording this. Obviously, the top 3, Sheffield United, Leeds, and Burnley, are a tiny bit clear. And then you have the likes of Middlesbrough, Sunderland, and co. trying to push for that playoff spot. And I think it'll be great to have Sunderland back in the Premier League. If we look at the club info of this great club, 50,000 capacity. Obviously, massive rivals of Newcastle, who are on a bit of a story of their own recently, have won their first trophy in a long time. Be good to have their rivals back in the Premier League and get the northeast of England back on top in the Premier League. Just 2 big clubs there would be fantastic. Of course, my club, Manchester United, we've got Manchester City to rival, and rivalries is what makes football fantastic. And a Sunderland back in the Premier League rivalry with Newcastle would be absolutely brilliant. Now, my goal for this season is the fact that I'm not going to make any other signings. We're going to be using these tactics, which I have actually tried to build based on how Sunderland do look to play in real life. I hope Sunderland fans can kind of see that, and you can let me know if I've done an okay job based on the stats there. You can see Trey Hume's going to come slightly inside, Dennis Churkin's going to go slightly higher, Roberts a little more attacking than Mundell. A bit of a weird system, but great as well because the centre mid on attack with Joe Bellingham. In terms of the competitions, we are predicted this season to come in 6th place, so we are predicted playoff football. Realistically, I expect to get promoted this season. They're going to do it in real life, potentially at least get playoffs. I think this season on FM, we're going to absolutely cook, and I'm hoping for some serious growth out of some of our youngsters. And then from there, I'm going to go out and sign some great hidden Wonderkids and top tier Wonderkids. If you haven't seen the video I released the other day, which is a £10 million versus £100 million transfer window, I'm going to go and use that hidden scouting method to find Wonderkids in this save and hopefully find some absolute gems. And I mean, you guys are going to have to wait and see what superstars we end up signing. There is no age cap. I want to sign Wonderkids that get good throughout the save in real life as well. As a 25-year-old, 26-year-old in 6, 7, 8, however many years time it takes. If there's a Wonderkid currently on FM, which is a little bit older, I'm going to go and get them and make them a superstar. But without further ado, let's get into this first season. Now, this season, it was important to me that we really saw some attacking outlet from this team. So we knew we could go up into the Premier League and compete with the very best. And the first goal we're going to see is a Chris Rigg to Joe Bellingham goal. That is absolutely perfect and exactly what I want to see. Second up, Wilson is the oar grabbing the second, also something I wanted to see. And the third goal is going to be from O'Neill finding Dan O'Neill to find the bottom corner in a very convincing 3-0 win against relegation-threatened Portsmouth. And to be honest, there was many more results exactly like that. August was unbeaten, September was a victorious month, winning every single game, and while our form did fall off a little bit in October with 3 draws, a loss, just 1 win, we soon got back on form with a few wins in November, including a famous 1-0 against Spurs, which to me was enough proof that we were ready to compete in the Premier League. And that is something we'll be doing next season as we finish second place in the Championship behind Leeds United on 8 points difference, 2 points safe of West Brom, but it's Burnley that get promoted with us. And to be honest, I think this is the 3 that actually get promoted in real life, which is awesome. The 3 relegated is very different to real life. Crystal Palace, Bournemouth and Everton. FM overhyping Southampton, Ipswich and Leicester greatly on 49 points, but that doesn't matter because we are going to have an easier Premier League by the looks of it, which is great. So 85 points for us, a 34 goal difference, 24 wins, 13 draws and 9 losses. Looking at the goals scored, we were second to just Sheffield United, and goals conceded, we were 5th behind Leeds, Bristol, Millwall and Swansea. But in terms of our goal scorer, there was a clear key player in Wilson Isdior, who throughout this season grabbed 37 goals, 3 assists in 53 games, and has already progressed into what I would say a dangerous striker or superb winger. He has 15 finishing, 12 composure, and electric pace. I don't know if he's going to be good enough for the Premier League instantly up front, but as a winger, I am very confident this guy could be more than good enough. I'm getting like a real good vibe from him, and I think he could be fantastic. In terms of clean sheets, second place, Anthony Patterson behind Elan Meslier has also grown at a ridiculous rate, of course due to his 20 determination. He is going to grow so fast, it is ridiculous, and he's not the only one. Chris Rigg is already up to a 3-star championship quality player, remember, at just 16 years of age. Throughout just this season alone, in terms of his stats, he's gone up 7 stats mentally, 3 stats physically, and is looking to progress a lot technically as a player. He grabbed 16 goal contributions in 51 games, and remember, he is 16 years of age. Do you know how outrageous that actually is? He outperformed Jobe Bellingham by quite some distance. Jobe got 12 goals and assists combined, but it's progressed to, just as fantastically, but them two as a partnership, it is going to be so fun for years to come. I'm going to stick to this 4-3-3 throughout this rebuild and really try and make them two the pivot that this team is built upon. But as we've seen already, there were some other absolute star players in this team. Patrick Roberts grabbed 23 goal contributions. Jewison Benete played only 9 games starting, 32 off the bench, scored 8 goals and got 5 assists, and has already grown into a really good talent and is so quick. Dan Neil from midfield grabbed 7 goals and 4 assists. Mayenda 3 goals in just 19 bench appearances. Our best players this season, playing a bunch of games, Ali Alesse with 15 starts, 5 assists, a 7.1 average rating. Enzo Lefebvre, of course, was instrumental in that DM position. Sadly, going to be going back to Roma, but 17 goal contributions was great this season from that DM position. And it's good to see as well that our wing-backs were very instrumental wherever they may be. I actually say that they are nowhere near as instrumental as I thought they were. I can't see my left back anywhere. I'm not too sure where Dennis Churkin has gone. Oh, that's where he went. In January, Spurs had a buyback clause on him, I guess, and they picked him back up for £6 million. So that's where Dennis Churkin's gone. That's why I thought he was on loan. He is now listed for transfer again. I mean, what? That's disgusting. They purchased him on the 1st of January from us, transfer listed the next day, as the club are looking to make a profit on him from the activation of a buyback clause. I have never seen that. He is wanted by 11 clubs on loan. Spurs, that is disgusting. He was having a pretty decent season for us. No assists, surprisingly enough, but a goal in 23 games, and Spurs have absolutely robbed us. Well, that explains a lot. So we need to go out and there and sign a brand new left back. I mean, financially, it's good for Sunderland because they were in the reds a little bit, but we are now absolutely fine. We have no debt on the club and now £45 million in overall balance. You can see it dropped down to a negative £10 million by the end of the season, but due to the Premier League promotion, we are now going to be pretty rich for the rest of this rebuild. We have £28 million in transfer budget, and very different to the Reading rebuild, which if you haven't seen is a 3-part series, which is fantastic. We have 100% retention of our transfer revenue. So in terms of any sales we get, which given the fact we have got some very highly rated Wonderkids could happen, any sales we get, we are taking every single piece of the money. Now, I'm not looking to go out there and spend 50, 60 million, but I am looking to bring in some absolute top tier talent. So we have just 5 signings for this Premier League season, and of course we are adding in some Wonderkid talent, and most notably a striker in John Carricabaru from Racing Santander. This guy is 19 determination, very good at finishing composure duo, and decent speed. He is consistent and cost us £5.25 million. Now the striker market, I've got to say, was pretty weak without spending stupid money. So I am taking a risk. John Carricabaru, I hope you're going to be our number 9 for the future. And if not, then we're going to have to go back to Wilson Isdor, and Ali Jassim is going to go into our wing position. Now, if you do not know about Ali Jassim, where have you been? This guy signed for Como from Al Quaya Al Jawira. He's been on loan on Almere and on FM here in the Eredivisie. Just grabbed 14 goal contributions and a 7.21 average rating. We've snapped him straight up £7 million. And if he reaches his full potential, well, we're going to have one of the best players in the game on our hands straight away. Next up is one of the hottest young left-back prospects in football right now. It's Tom Roth, signed from Union Berlin. I say left-back, he is very unorthodox. He is 6'4", so very easily could slot in to centre-back. But to start off, he is going to be our left-back. He is consistent, he is a giant, and he is fantastic. And our penultimate signing and final one was a transfer is Matteo Prati, coming in from Cagliari. He is an Italian defensive midfielder and is the man we have brought in to attempt to replace Enzo Lefebvre. While we do go to the loan market for our final signing of Rory Wilson, a loan signing from Aston Villa. Now this is a bit of a strange one, but I didn't want to spend any more money. We spent about £35 million this transfer window, didn't make any money from sales, so I didn't want to completely break the bank in case we got relegated. But this guy, at 18 years of age, has 2 caps for Scotland, 16 finishing, good composure, good physical stats, and a very easy loan fee for us. He didn't perform last year in the Premier League for Aston Villa, but for us, I'm hoping to be a very good rotational option. Now, when looking into our team, this is what we currently have. We have Patterson in goal, Trey Hume, Roth, Ballard and Luke O'Neill as our 4 centre-backs, as Chris Metham has also gone. Prati in the DLP role, Rigg and Bellingham in the midfield role, Isdior on the left-hand side, Jassim on the right-hand side, and Carricabaru as our striker up front. The backup, Simon Moore, Timothy Pembele comes straight into the squad after his loan spell. Triantis, Aji Alese and Huggins make up our defence. Ekwa, Daniel and Ali Akushe make up the midfield, with Patrick Roberts, Jewison Beniete and Rory Wilson making up the attacking rotational options. And to be honest, I imagine this is going to rotate a lot. Patrick Roberts is going to play loads of games. Isdior, pretty good player up front for a few games. I can imagine Roberts going over to the left and Jassim on the right, or Benete coming in on the left and Jassim on the right, or Roberts on the right, Wilson coming in. Dan O'Neill's going to come into that midfield role. Ekwa can as well. Ali Akushe. I mean, we are full of youngsters that can play in every single position for us, and the backups are just as good as the first team, really, which is very rare for a brand new Premier League club, but also very rare to have them at such a good young age. Now, looking into our season preview in the Premier League, of course, we are 700 to 1 to get relegated, but I think we're going to absolutely cook. This team is set for the future, and I have no doubt we're about to excel them expectations. If I can just ask you guys that are watching at this point a massive favour, around 70% of you that are watching this are not subscribed, so smash that subscribe button, and while you're down there, smash that like button, and you are not going to regret the content you see coming out on this channel over the next few months, leading up to a very important and very exciting FM25. Now, of course, we have set out our expectation for Premier League safety in this first season, and beating teams like Aston Villa would go a long way in securing that safety, especially in this sort of fashion. Now, we get off to a great start with Joe Bellingham poking us ahead 1-0 in just 5 minutes. But of course, Aston Villa do peg us back 1-1 thanks to a goal from Emi Buendia. But we then start to see how this tactic works and how this squad really is going to be a real menace for teams to compete with. Chris Rigg spinning his man and finding Isdior off that left wing for Patrick Roberts. Dinks it in and Isdior scores once again at that back stick for a 3-1 lead. Now Villa are going to score once again, but we are not done either. Oscar Glau finds Tyrone Mings for one of the best goals I've ever seen. It reminded me of a company goal for Manchester City all them years ago. But our fourth is going to come as Patrick Roberts finds that man Karikabaru to knock down to Joe Bellingham for 4-2 in a very convincing battering of one of the Premier League's hottest sides right now. Which should probably give you some pretty good understanding of the fact that we have just finished 12th place in the Premier League and absolutely smashed our first season. 44 points, 13 wins, 5 draws, 20 losses, a negative 19 goal difference, but 10 points ahead of safety and just 10 points away from top half Premier League football after just 2 seasons rebuilding this club, which is absolutely unbelievable. And some of my favourite bits of this is the players that are performing. John Karikabaru, our striker signing, scored 14 goals, but Wilson Isdior was hot on his heels with 10, while Joe Bellingham got an all-important 9 with 3 assists, and Chris Rigg 5 and 8 assists. I love it. I really do like Sunderland, and that's quite painful to say. My brother is a massive Newcastle fan. As I'm a United fan, I got absolutely cooked on the weekend and I was around there and got mean for losing 4-1. So I feel quite good at the fact that I say I quite like this current Sunderland setup. And it's just awesome to see almost a team doing what I do with Wonderkids and bringing through youth talent in real life like Sunderland are doing. I personally really hope Chris Rigg somehow ends up at United. I think he's such a talented player. I hope Joe Bellingham really goes on to be a top tier side, and I actually hope, I take that back, I hope if Sunderland get promoted, all the young players stay at them and do exactly what I've done in this first season. I hope they trust him in the Premier League. Don't go out and spend a ridiculous amount of money bringing in talent. Trust the youth and see what happens, because we've seen so far in the Premier League, the last 3 seasons, I think, the 3 teams that come up have gone straight back down. Maybe bringing through youth cutting players and using a young team that has a lot of fight, passion and spirit is what's needed to stay in the Prem. And this Sunderland team has a lot of that straight off the bat. Anthony Patterson, Trey Hume, Dan Ballard, Chris Rigg, Joe Bellingham, Wilson Isdior, Timothy Pembele, Nectar Triantis, Adji Elise, Niall Huggins, Dan Neal, Adi Adouche, Patrick Roberts is still quite young, and Jewison Beniete, all young players which will thrive in the Premier League if given the opportunity, because it's the biggest league that players want to play in. They will give anything to play in the Premier League, and you give some of them youngsters a chance, I genuinely believe they absolutely thrive. Now, Chris Rigg at this point is valued up to 49 to 76 million pounds, which is absolutely outrageous. And Joe Bellingham is valued between 54 and 67 million pounds. Now, neither of them have made their debut for England yet, but don't worry, throughout this rebuild, I'm going to be keeping an eye on them caps, and they really should get capped throughout this rebuild. I do believe I done a Bellingham's Birmingham rebuild around a year ago on FM24, maybe even longer than that. It was definitely on this game. And Job never got a cap for England despite lifting the Champions League. So I'd be interested to see if he has been updated to this point where we can actually get him to be in the England team next to his brother Bellingham, Jude Bellingham, of course. And Wilson Isdior as well. I would love to see if he gets a France cap, because he is doing really well for us, a 6.75. He is progressing at a really good rate as well. He isn't happy, wants a brand new deal. We'll sort that out for him. Same for Anthony Patterson and Trey Hume. Luke O'Neill is a bit of a Sunderland legend at this point. He's been here for 7 years and has been all the way down in League 2. Oh, I was going to say, when did Sunderland go to League 2? They didn't. League 1 with them, and has come back up now and has been a really important player for them, and is now here with us in the Premier League, which is awesome to see. Ali Jassim, a fairly decent year, 11 goal contributions. Wasn't quite as impressive as I actually thought. I thought he would be quite simply unbelievable. At my Como rebuild, he really was a top talent. Matteo Prati as well, not quite as good as I thought he would be. Dan Neal taking that DM spot for his own. And to be honest, I'd probably just keep sticking with that. But I know I'm going to try and replace him, because I can't not sign a midfielder. Tom Roth at left back, very impressive at just 20 years of age to come in and grab 27 games. Dan Ballard as well at 6.74, 40 games and a goal. And that is our Premier League safe team. Now, I did mention financially we were going to be pretty good from now on. £98 million in the bank and an £83 million transfer budget. Now, because I'm not saying any sort of sort of restrictions on this save. We're having fun signing Wonderkids. We are going to get a bit mental throughout this rebuild. I'm going to go and try and find some of the best Wonderkids ever, but also some of the best hidden Wonderkids on the game. So let me introduce you to Sunderland's new number 9, Sheena Ayodele. I have gone to Nigeria and to Remo Stars to find a hidden Wonderkid striker, to find a bit of an experiment in this rebuild. I didn't want to just go out and sign the best Wonderkid striker possible. If this doesn't work out, I will be going and doing that. Now, John Akirabaru was decent last season, but I'm going to have some fun. I want to try and find a hidden gem and find my player of FM for £1 million. Sheena Ayodele, who has just grabbed 12 goals, 5 assists and a 7.4 average rating, has joined Sunderland. He is capped at under 23 level. And if you don't know how I would find players like this, check out the video from the other day where proving you can win on Football Manager using less than £100 million. We done that and we signed fantastic Wonderkids, and Sheena Ayodele was found using that exact hidden gem scouting method. He is great on both feet. He is quick. He has good finishing. He has good composure. If we get the right growth with him, this guy could be absolutely superb. And to be honest, I didn't stop there in Hidden Wonderkids. I actually had a bit of a Hidden Wonderkid summer. I found Gibson Nana Adu from Unterhaching in Germany. He just grabbed a 7.66, 8 goals, 2 assists in the 3rd tier of Germany. Cost us 500k and looks outrageous. Great speed, great agility, extreme consistency, 17 concentration, 13 finishing, 11 composure, great determination, 5'8", right-footed. And he's our brand new right winger, as leads to the rotational option, and he looks brilliant. Next up is Colombian centre-back Kevin Mantilla, coming in from Independiente. He is highly determined, good defensive stats, and very quick. Fabio Chiadroya is another centre-back coming in to be a rotation, quite a well-known Wonderkid, German from Borussia Mönchengladbach. And my final signing is Max Merrick from Chelsea, simply a homegrown English goalkeeper. I don't imagine he'll play many games at all, if ever. If Anthony Peterson gets injured, well, I suppose I deserve the punishment of not having a good backup goalkeeper. This is my Sunderland team, though, for this season. Patterson in goal, Pembele, Roth, Ballard and Chiadrola, with Neil, Rigg and Bellingham as a fantastic midfield trio. Isdior on the left, Adu on the right, and Sheena Ayodele up front. I am very excited for this season. We are in the Premier League, and we have got 2 hidden Wonderkids that I have never seen before in the team, looking to make a name for himself, looking to make an impact, and we are carrying on that Wonderkid spell. And to be honest, it didn't really work. We finished 16th, 35 points. We fell off quite a lot this season, 10 points differential, and it is safe to say having a £15 million transfer window was a bit of an understatement on my side, a bit of an oversight in quite how difficult the Premier League could be and how dangerous it can be to not sign some absolute superstars. I locked Sheena Ayodele in to be our striker. He scored 15 goals, got 2 assists, and had some great growth. But I'm not sure he's the answer. 44 games. He has now capped for Nigeria. And already I'm going to hold my hands up and say, what a signing. We have found an absolute superstar. And regardless of what happens from here, this is why I'm having so much fun on FM still, because I'm managing to sign hidden people that no one's ever heard of or used before and turn them into Premier League players, at least high-level Championship players, which is unbelievable. The other geezer, the high-potential Gibson, just 10 games overall, 2 assists, but is a 5-star Wonderkid, the highest potential player at the club. Given we have Joe Bellingham and Chris Rigg at the club, that's pretty impressive. This guy will go on to become something, I'm sure of it. He is very, very consistent. He is currently injured with a pulled hamstring. Hopefully that's something that doesn't persist. Chris Rigg, another decent season, but not quite as good. And the same can be said for Joe Bellingham as well. Jewison Beniete actually played loads of games this season, 10 goal contributions for him. And Tom Roth with 5 from the left-back position. But overall, quite a big drop-off this season. I think I expected to just, because we've got young players, to grow and grow and grow and be the best team ever. That's not happened. We need to go out there and sign some better Wonderkids and potentially some slightly older Wonderkids that are going to come in and make us much better straight away. Again, Joe Bellingham, now a value of £91 million, no England cap, which I find absolutely ridiculous, by the way. Wilson Isdior, no France cap just yet. And Chris Rigg, no England cap just yet. But the 3 Sunderland youngsters, well, they're progressing very, very quickly. Financially, because I didn't spend much money last year, we do have £118 million to spend. and I think it's time we go and have a little bit of fun and bring in some top tier talent. So for my first signing, I've signed the biggest prospect in world football as centre-back right now. It is Dean Huijsen from Bournemouth, and he has hardly played in the last 3 seasons. Now, we know the talent of Dean on Football Manager and in real life. This guy will possibly go to one of the biggest teams in the world this year. He has made his cap international for Spain, but now he's a Sunderland player. Some would say fall from grace, but in this rebuild, well, that is an absolutely fantastic move. And we're going to lock him in to be our starting centre-back next to Daniel Ballard, as we are quite literally set for as many years as this rebuild takes. We then move on to the right-back position, and improving our defence this season is something that I really wanted to do. So Alex Jimenez came in from AC Milan, another incredible Wonderkid on this year's game. As mentioned, we are basically signing only Wonderkids in this rebuild, but I'm not going to stick it to they have to be under 21. I've had a few comments saying it can get a bit boring when it's just regens, etc. So signing some slightly older Wonderkids. Dean was 22 and has developed not very well. I'm going to try and make him a late bloomer. And Alex Jimenez, who's 21, has only played 10 games for the AC Milan first team and a bunch for the Serie C side, that Cavascat team. He has been out on loan in Sevilla as well for a whole year and didn't play. But this guy's stats are fantastic, and I'm sure he's going to be unreal in the Prem. My next signing is one that I have actually never seen before. It is Pedro from Zenit St. Petersburg in Russia. He is a right winger. He is 5'9", great on both feet, great agility, decent speed, but great dribbling and flair, like a Neymar type. Not amazing over 5 yards, but get him on the ball, he'll beat a man. He has enough speed to get through them. A little bit injury prone as well. So I'm sure on this guy's sister's birthday, we're probably not going to see him play too many games. And finally, we have El Hadji Malik Diouf. I've got a very weird memory in my head that this guy has got a big move in real life. If that is the case, let me know in the comments down below. I've seen definitely RDF speak about him as one of the hottest young left-back prospects in the world, and I'm sure I've seen that he's moved somewhere potentially, but I'm a massive fan of this guy. I have been for a long time on FM. He's a really good Moneyball signing. He cost me just £2.5 million, 7.04 average rating for the second team in Slavia Prague, but this guy's talent is absolutely fantastic, and I'm going to ignore the fact this is a League One player, because based on crossing, dribbling, determination, and physical stats, while also being 6'1", I believe this guy is more than good enough to go to the top, while also having 6 caps for the Senegalese youth team. Now, you can see the concentration there was heavily on the defence, but only one comes in to the starting lineup. Now, Pembele has been brilliant for us in this whole entire rebuild, so he is going to be a heavy rotation with Alex Jimenez. I've got no idea who's going to play more. Dean is only a 2-star centre-back right now, but he will be starting next to Ballard, and Tom Roth, well, he is going to be our starting left-back for sure. He is fantastic. We have kept the midfield trio of Daniel, Joe Bellingham, and Chris Rigg. Pedro does come into that right wing position, is Dior on the left, and Sheena Ayodele up front. But someone that is going to start progressing really quickly is Gibson Nana Adu, the German right winger / striker, is developing really well. Has that 5-star potential still. Value is outrageous, and he can play in this right wing role at the same level as Pedro, and I can also play up front at the same level as what's his name, Shinya Ayodele. So I imagine we're going to see a lot coming from him in the coming seasons. But that is it in terms of our transfer business, really. That was a fairly, I said an expensive window it was going to be. It was about £40 million, so still a fairly big chunk of money spent. Season preview-wise, it does move us off the foot of the table, but only to 19th. Now I'm hoping we're going to be able to do much better than that. There was some outgoings this summer as well. Adji Alese left the club for £14 million to Al Ittihad, Patrick Roberts to Al Hilal for 6, Leo to Hanover, potentially 5.75 million, and Rushian to Hertha for 2.5 million. Also the loan fee of £3 million for Eliza Mayenda, which is a great piece of business for us loan-wise. So only a net £12 million spent this summer, and I think we've upgraded the defence massively, and potentially our wing position as well with Pedro. So a really exciting summer, and of course this season we are looking to now try and progress into European football. You'll have to bear with me. I recorded the first half of this video a few days ago. We have just survived, didn't we? We had Shinya Ayodele up front. We took a risk going down a little bit and not spending too much money. We've now spent loads of money, and yeah, I'm hoping we can have a much better time of things this season. I said Europe. Let's be realistic. Between 12th and 8th would be great, and 8th could see Conference League football, just like Burnley this year. Now, this season's goal was to tighten up the defence, and I think we actually done a pretty good job of that. Now, as you can see from the fixtures when going through, we started the season in August really well, beating Burnley, Brentford and Chelsea. But they were on a 3-month not losing streak, but only drawing 3 games, losing the rest. And we did ship a few goals, most notably 6 against City, but every other game was really, really tight. And Dean Hyson also got on the score sheet a few times, to be fair to him. And I do think we have done a decent job, given we are only signing Wonderkids. The fact that our goal scoring is about even with our goals conceded is a good job. And I do think we need a new striker. Well, it's been really fun to have a test and try and find a hidden striker like Shina Ayodele. This was one of only 10 goals this season, which is a really big issue because he was our top goal scorer and just reached double figures. Joe Bellingham did grab 9 and 10 assists, which is outrageously good. Wilson Isdor grabbed 9 and Pedro grabbed 8. That's about what I would expect from our wingers and attacking midfielders. Chris Rigg and Joe Bellingham getting 15 between them. But we need a striker that's getting 20 goals. Look at someone like Liam Delap at Ipswich. Is probably going to finish on 16, 17 goals this season. And Shina Ayodele is just not quite doing it for us. I am really glad we signed him. We found a bit of a hidden gem. I just don't think he's Premier League quality, but it could be very good in like the Bundesliga because of his physical stats and his finishing. Even like lower down in Italy could be great. I just think the Premier League is a little bit too physical for him, so his physical stats aren't shining through. But it's a really cool signing, and one that, I mean, he's pretty much matched his record in Nigeria at Remo Stars. 72 games, 20 goals. It's just not enough for a Premier League number 9. So that is an area I am certainly looking to improve in the summer. And I put that towards the reason we haven't got European football this season. Now, it is a massive improvement, don't get me wrong, up to 11th place on 52 points, 14 points better off. But just 1 point would have seen us get 8th place to Europa Conference League football. It was a very tight running. 2 could have got Europa League, with Burnley getting back-to-back European seasons. Fair play to Burnley. But overall, very close, but not quite close enough. Hilarious that Arsenal were 14th, United are 12th, and we've missed out on European football. This seems like a season where we really should have capitalised on their mistakes. Even Chelsea down in 10th, level on points with us. Would have been great to match them up. I'm actually checking out the goals scored. We were in the 9th position on 54 goals, which means we conceded 59 goals, I believe it will be. It will be down 15th place. So shipping a few too many goals, not scoring enough goals, but average rating wise, we have got some players that are massively improving. Gibson, 7.07, 14 games, 3 goals, 3 assists. He is only 20 years of age. I do think we're going to have a real breakout season from him very, very soon. Tom Roth, 7 assists, 2 goals, talented player. And Joe Bellingham, I've got no idea how he's not made his England debut. A 21-year-old midfielder, can also play cam or striker. 19 goal contributions in the Premier League alone in 39 games, with above a 7 average rating, but not getting a call up to England is a sick joke, I've got to say. And Anthony Patterson as well. Oh, he's got 3 caps. That's actually massive. Oh, that's awesome. I did not expect to click on the fact that he would have an England cap, but he got it in 2025 against Sweden. Oh, that's so cool. Anthony Patterson is an England goalkeeper. I love that. That is absolutely awesome. Well, that's cool. The only 2 we need to do now, I would potentially like to try and see if we can get Wilson a cap for France. Definitely Joe Bellingham. And the other one is certainly Chris Rigg. No caps for him just yet. This is going to be tough to get them all caps, I'll tell you that. But a lovely little side story on the rebuild. And you have to watch the end of the rebuild to find out if that happens. A lovely bit of YouTube SEO. And while you're there, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll move on to season number 5, shall we? So welcome in our big money striker, Simon Pafundi. He is an incredible Wonderkid on FM and isn't spoken about enough about, in my opinion. His stats are outrageous. The biggest determination, unreal physicals, consistent dribbling first touch. His finishing isn't outrageous, and if we eventually potentially change formation to a 4-2-3-1, which I don't think we will, he will do very well in that cam role. But I also think as a link-up false 90 deep-lying forward striker, while also having the speed and advance forward, he could be unreal. He's only 5'6", which on FM is a little bit not meta. Being a 6'2" quick striker is the meta for sure, but he is very, very talented, and I think will do much better than Ayodele up front. Next up is another young Brazilian winger, this time going to Atletico Mineiro to find Alisson. This guy costs us £7 million and looks a lot more well-rounded, slightly less technically gifted in dribbling and flair, etc., but a much better footballer, a much smarter footballer, and a really good price for him as well. Next up is a young Serbian midfielder in Janko Gacic, and this guy could really go on to potentially replace either Rig or Joe Bellingham. I hope that doesn't happen, that's for sure. I do think maybe potentially if this guy becomes really, really good, Rig could drop into DM and Janko and Joe could be our midfield partnership. This guy is unbelievable. His stats are simply outrageous. He's just 18 years of age. Cost me a grand total of £7 million. He hasn't played a professional game yet, but my God, is he talented. And regardless, it's going to be a great rotation midfielder. We then move on to another defensive midfielder in Lorenzo Amatucci from Fiorentina. I said that very Italian, didn't I? That sounded quite good. Lorenzo. Everyone that calls me out for me, pronunciation in the comments, have a go at Lorenzo Amatucci and tell me you're doing the better than that. Consistent life big matches, decent physicals, but unbelievable mental stats, which is great on just a 23-year-old. Great on the ball as well, and it's going to be a real steal for just 7.75 million. Played 3 seasons consistently in the Serie A at Fiorentina, so we know he can play at a top level. And then finally, we move on to 2 of my hidden regen signings. Number 1 is Thapolo Mokiele, a South African centre-back who looks fantastic, as does his good mate Bull Mutasashi, a South African centre-back. We brought in 2, both to be backup centre-backs, both from Kaizer Chiefs. Both are the starting centre-backs for South Africa, and both are Wonderkids, and absolutely fantastic. And we'll both back up Dean Hyson and Dan Ballard, probably for the rest of this rebuild, because them 2 are just an absolute joke. Jimenez does take the starting right-back position this year, and Roth at the left. England goalkeeper, Patterson in goal, Amatucci, Rig, Bellingham, Isidore, potentially Pedro, and obviously not Shina Ayodele. Definitely Pafundi, and most likely Alisson on the right as well. I think that's a really, really strong team. And I do think we've improved massively this summer. Just having a striker, I mean, if we compare him to Shina Ayodele, it's going to be such a big difference in just that one position. I mean, look at that. Mental, defending, physical, speed, vision, attacking, technical stats, all better than Ayodele. And then just in the air, he's not quite as good. But that's fine, because I believe we are set to take low crosses into the box, which we are. So we'll be absolutely fine with that. And that is the team for this big, big season. We have to go and secure European football. And well, this season's start was the polar opposite to last season. Shocking starts in August, and then nearly going 3 months unbeaten. Unbeaten all draws in September. Then 3 wins in a row, a 2-0 against Brighton, a 5 against Ipswich, and a 2 against Newcastle, for just about losing 1-0 at the Emirates, and then beating Fulham and drawing to City at the Etihad. Now, there were certainly good signs this season, at least in the first half, but how did we do in the second half? Well, actually, we done pretty well. And to be honest, we scored a boatload of goals in the second half of this season. Alisson down the right was fantastic, and Job, as that centre mid on attack, of course, was a goal-scoring menace. Alisson once again picking up the ball, finding Amatucci to find Jewison Benete, to find Gibson Adu in the box. I could tell there was a season coming up for him soon where he would grab a bunch of goals. And the third is going to come from that man who's just laid it off to Alisson, Jewison Benete, obviously full of speed, still at the club, and apparently full of goals. A 3-0 victory here against Leeds, and it was one of our best performances of the season. We absolutely dominated them, and that victory on one of the final days of the season was enough to secure us Conference League football, and the goal difference was there as well. And that Benete goal was in the 94th minute, and we got the goal difference by 1 against Chelsea on 56. We get 56, and Sunderland are Europa Conference League, which is unbelievable. Now, my goal in this rebuild is to win the Premier League, but why not try and pick up some European trophies on the way? And as we know from West Ham fans, winning the Conference League is making us European champions. Now, in terms of this season, goals-wise, we were much, much better. Joined with Manchester City, in fact, on 64. And defensively, no different whatsoever. Still down on 59, which I think is the exact same amount of goals as last season. But there was goals from a lot more places this year. Pafundi with 12, which isn't as much as I maybe expected, but still pretty good. Is Dior with 12 and 4 assists, also double figures, and Joe Bellingham 11 and 4 assists, also double figures. Alisson, a creative genius with 10 assists, is brilliant, and Chris Rigg still doing his bits, 4 goals, 3 assists. Gibson, Nana Adu, maybe not a breakout year still, 4 goals, 3 starts, 6 to the bench, still not unhappy, which surprises me a lot. He is going up a lot in stats though, which is so weird to see how much he's progressing. Big fan of him, I've got to say. Somebody who's not scared to be at the club and just be a rotation option. Jewison Benete also been really good this whole rebuild, 7.11. Has Joe made his England debut yet? No, he's not, which is a big shame. He's been in our best 11 for 4 seasons. Oh, we just can't get him. He was player of the month for May. Player of the month, and he's not getting into the England side for May as well. Young player of the month for April. He has been on some fantastic form. Now, of course, we are in 2028, which means we are going to be coming up to an England World Cup or Euros, and Thomas Frank is the manager. Look, Jude, you're the captain and key player. Get him in this team. I mean, we can get Rice out, get Rice gone, and get Job in the team. I tell you, Anthony Patterson's the backup goalkeeper for England, which is cool. But it'd be nice to see a few more of our players in there. Elise, interestingly, switching allegiances to England is pretty cool to see. Unbelievable player as well. Crikey, what a player he is. But that is our best season yet by far. 8th in the Premier League. Knocked out in the FA Cup and Carabao Cup. 3rd round and 2nd round, both absolutely horrendous. But we're not too bored about them at the moment. We are going to win them at some point, hopefully. But you can see from the league positions chart here, we were just much better this season. Much more well-rounded. And as soon as we settled into the flow of the year, we were much stronger. Financially, we are an absolute powerhouse. We have unlimited money to go and spend, to be honest. But I don't want to go and spend like £100 million, but maybe we need to spend a little bit more to get to the next level. I do also understand, I have just done an amazing video, which was 10 million versus 100 million. I've also seen a comment of the Reading rebuild where when we got to a certain point, I should have allowed myself to spend a bit more money. I'm aware that I do like to stick to my guns with not spending too much money, trying to find bargains, but sometimes it's more fun to go and break the bank. And that's why I signed someone like Pafundi, someone that you guys probably would go and sign. He is a real wonder kid on this game, and yeah, it's brilliant. But I have fun finding weird players like Alisson or Amatucci. And yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Do you prefer the fact that I do the random signings, the hidden regems, or do you want to see big powerhouse wonder kids? I am actually really interested to see what you actually think about that, because that will help me massively in the videos over the summer, because I haven't done many like incredible wonder kid rebuilds because it's just not really my style. But if you guys want to see some and you want to see me add more wonder kids, let me know, because I'm happy to go and do it. And this is kind of exactly what I mean. I've got out and signed Yang Min Hyuk. Now, if you do not know about Yang Min Hyuk, he is a young winger that's currently playing at QPR in real life and is really talented. He is very quick, great on the ball, determination and flair, that sort of passion he has got for the game. He's unbelievable and is a really fun player to watch. I'm not going to say QPR fan. I'm a United fan, of course, but I do like watching QPR. My mate's a QPR supporter. We go to a lot of games, and this guy's really talented, and he's been doing really well recently in the Championship. And this is one of the signings that I like to go and make with a hidden player that people might not know about and enlighten you on a wonder kid in real life. Well, here he is, Yang Min Hyuk. Keep an eye out for this guy. Next up, I suppose, is the sort of superstar wonder kid. It's Giovanni Quenda, signed from Sporting. Now, he's not made his Sporting debut at 21 on this game, which is absolutely ridiculous. But here he is, a £15 million signing, worth up to 82 million already. He's going to be quite good, isn't he? We're going to use him as a right winger rather than a right wing back or a right back, which I have done previously in a United rebuild. I signed him and used him at right back, which was outrageous. But using him as a right winger, it's going to be very fun. Great dribbling, great speed, decent flair, determination and consistency. And it's a more well-known wonder kid. And finally, the same probably goes for William Clem as well. £8.5 million Danish DM from Copenhagen. I think this guy's very well known. He's got good consistency, really well rounded as well. Just basically blues everywhere, which is awesome to see. And it does come into the team as that deep line playmaker in the base of the DM position. And Quenda probably on that right wing spot, maybe rotating with Alisson. Who knows who's going to play there. And Yang Min Hyuk is going to be a rotational winger for us as well. But obviously this season is Europa Conference League season. So all of these players are going to get lots of game time, which is very fun. And when it's a competition that I often say is the easiest competition to win an FM, So let's go and put my money where the mouth is and win the Europa Conference League. And we're going to cut straight to the chase because you guys join me in the Europa Conference League final against Zurich. And this game absolutely baffles me. I don't know how we've done what we've done in this game. It wasn't easy to get to this point where we were in the final of the Conference League. But once we got here, well, you're going to see the goals that go in. It's been 2 in the first half already. We move into the second half, and Amatucci is going to score an absolute screamer into the back of the net. Zurich aren't a bad side. I mean, a pretty big side as well in terms of stature in the game. They just crumbled in this. This is going to be 4th in 68 minutes. We're halfway through the goals in this game. And yes, it's going to be 8-0 in the Conference League final. Adu started this game up front, Quenda on the right wing, and Job, of course, in midfield. And Gibson Adu, well, I knew it was coming. He was unbelievable in this game in particular. Tom Roth with the corner, finding Dan Ballard in the box to hit the post of an open goal and then tap home for 6-0. Tom Roth on the ball once again down the left-hand side, finding Dean Hyson, who then whips it into Wilson Isdior to find a screamer in for 7-0, and an 8th coming in as well. Now, if you guys want access to this tactic, I'm going to put it in with the Patreon file, which does go up on the Patreon. The link with that will be down in the description. It is £5 a month. It helps support me massively. And of course, you're going to get a fantastic tactic, as well as the rebuild file from the Sunderland rebuild. We're going to have some of the best Wonderkids on the game, and hopefully a Premier League winning side. And we're using the tactic, won 8-0 against Zurich. It's pretty damn good. And it also led us to our best point tally finish this season, while also playing a whole bunch of other games to get to the Conference League final and win that trophy. So 57 points, a -3 goal difference, which is something to keep an eye on, but our best points tally yet, our best season yet, and a brand new Premier League holder as well in Newcastle, which is awesome to see. So when I was going up and winning the title, Spurs bowled it again, and Leicester get Champions League football. Bit weird rebuild. Burnley, a team which were in Champions League, Europa League places, now getting relegated. Leicester, now Champions League, Leeds up in 5th. United, finally back in Europa League. I mean, it has been quite some time. Yeah, 3rd, 4th, 12th, 10th. Now back up into 7th place. Fair play to United. But we are also Europa League, finishing in 8th, which is mental. I am very, very happy with that. And this season, we did see some great progression from some players. Joe Bellingham, we're going to click on him in a minute because I really hope he's got that England cap. Profundi, 15 goals, 7 assists, is starting to come into his own for us. But someone that certainly is Gibson. 12 starts, 24 off the bench, 13 goals. If you've never used this guy, go and find him on this game. I don't know what his actual potential is. He starts at Unterchang in the 3rd tier of Germany. He's an absolute bagsman. I really like him. Big fan of him. Great stats, 5'9", extreme consistency, great speed. I'm looking out for him in future rebuilds as well. No Germany cap, I did see. Addison, great game, for great season for us. 9 assists, 8 goals. Wilson Isdior, 20 goal contributions. No France cap just yet. Probably not going to happen for him, sadly. Quenda, 7 and 7 in his first professional season. What a player, and what a signing that has been for just £13 million. Tom Roth, 6 goals, 15 assists. Not cap for Germany just yet, which is sad. Chris Rigg, 5 goals, 11 assists. His best season in quite some time. Not quite in the England team. And Joe Bellingham, not quite in the England team. I bet once again, absolutely smashing it in terms of the awards. Conference League Player of the Season, runner-up. Conference League Young Player of the Season, he won it. English Team of the Week. Player of the Month for May. I mean, he's literally breaking records, being incredible, 23 years of age. And Thomas Frank is not giving him a look in. Has Patterson played any more games for England? 19 caps. Woo! We've got the England #1 at the team. That is absolutely fantastic. Jimenez, 2 caps for Spain, so we got him in there as well. Dan Ballard, of course, dominating for Northern Ireland. He is our captain. I would imagine the captain for Northern Ireland as well. He is, which is awesome to see. Trey Hume as the vice as well. Big Dean, no caps for Spain just yet, but progressing really well. Clem, of course, caps for Denmark. And Profundi, caps for Italy, 13 and 3 goals. I mean, it is Wonderkid 11 season, which is great to see. Has he got a cap? No, he hasn't. Fair enough. But yeah, unbelievable. I am I'm having actually a lot of fun doing a Wonderkid rebuild. I have to do the money ball or the like hidden regens, but just going out and finding the best like real life Wonderkids has been really, really fun. Financially, we are £160 million to spend. And I think we just have to go out and do it again and bring in some more players. I am keeping an eye out on our youth academy as well. We have got this guy come through. Gabriel Chinedu, 20 determination striker. Potential maybe isn't quite there, but we shall see. He might get to being an absolute baller, so I'm keeping a strong eye on him. He is playing for the England under-20s as well, so must be very, very good. 70 games non-competitive, 44 goals, 28 assists. That's not too bad, is it? Let's be real. He's pretty damn good, actually. So I am keeping an eye on him as well. But let's get into Season 7. We're now a Europa League side. I mean, the sky really is the limit for here. I've also just clocked. We're at a Sunderland rebuild and we celebrate a Newcastle Premier League win. If you're a Sunderland fan, I'm very, very sorry for that. This season, I went for just 2 regen players. Number 1 is Edson, a highly talented Brazilian centre-back. And number 2 is Belgian left-back Luc de Smet. He is the starting Belgian left-back, and he is absolutely fantastic. He is going to rotate with Tom Roth, I imagine. Tom Roth potentially going to start over him, let's be honest. But really, I don't want to change too much. I'm potentially switching to a 4-2-3-1. I'm going to see how we get on. If not, drop back into this 4-3-3, and we'll go back into this formation. I'm just going to test it out for the first few games of the season and see what happens. But this midfield 3, I think, is fantastic. And it's been great to have Bellingham in the team for this long. I just want him to get to that England cap. Now we've got the England number 1 as well. Like, surely it's not a reputation thing because Patterson's the number 1. Like, so frustrating. He's winning so many rewards as well. So we'll have to see. Kind of out of my control, let's be honest. Season preview, now 13th, so a big improvement over the last couple of years. I'd like to tick off a Carabao and FA Cup this season as well. And of course, the Europa League. As I said, we're not really looking to win the Champions League in this rebuild, but it'll be great to be in it next season and for Season 8. And of course, winning Europa League is always going to be fun. Well, it is certainly our best performance in the FA Cup yet. We get to the quarterfinals, but sadly lose to Manchester United, a club that we will be seeing very shortly, because they are in the Europa League with us and finished in the top 8 with us. But we won the league phase, 24 points, a maximum with 20 goal difference, which means we're flying straight in to the round of 16. We faced up against Ajax, and believe it or not, the first leg was a 0-0 draw away from home. Apparently, we get to the Stadium of Light vote, and the goals just start flowing once again. Giovanni Quenda down that right-hand side, Joe Bellingham. I mean, Thomas Frank, what are you doing? We're playing in red and white as well. I mean, you must love watching us. He's an absolute bagsman. Get him in the team. Would win Euros and World Cups. Isdior grabs a third. De Smit and Amatucci then link up to the left-hand side, but Amatucci finds Chinedu in the box, who has been promoted to the first team this season to grab the 4th in this game. And Dean wins the header, drops to Job. A ball through to Chinedu once again, who grabs a 5th. Now, we haven't spoken about Chinedu yet. We didn't speak about him too much either because I didn't know how well he was going to do. Well, this season, he has moved up into the first team and his potential has skyrocketed. He is now a 4.5-star potential player, a 3-star credibility player, played 10 games, 12 for the bench and scored 5 goals, and 2 of them coming in the Europa League in just that one game. That did, of course, mean we were flying into the quarterfinals of the competition and we narrowly scraped past Porto 3-2 on aggregate. And then we absolutely battered Borussia Mönchengladbach 4-1 on aggregate to set up a final against Manchester United. And well, we couldn't have got off to a better start in this game, playing in our lime green kit. Chris Rigg found Tom Roth to grab a screamer to kick things off against David Raya in the Manchester United goal. But actually just a minute and a half later, Mbaye finds Mason Mount to find a great ball through to their Wonderkid striker, Leo Cabanez, to make the game 1-1. Which then sent us all the way to extra time. We're in the 113th minute. Wilson Isdior gets on the ball and finishes into the back of the net for 2-1, the 3rd goal in this game, before giving a penalty in the 120th minute, which set out penalties. And Dean scored the first, sending Raya the wrong way, when Moliero stepped up and missed. That secured the Europa League final for us to get a victory, and we were European champions once again, back to back, the Conference League and then the Europa League. Maybe we'll see 3 seasons in a row would be absolutely mental, but you never know. It could be possible, but that is a great competition to win. And Bellingham was at his best season yet. 14 goals, 11 assists, but no England caps. I've got no idea. Maybe it's just his brother, like, keeping him out. Maybe his brother's in the year of Thomas Frank, like, nah, don't get him in. We can't have 2 Bellinghams. It's Scott Parker. Oh, my God. I mean, he should be able to see talent, surely. We haven't won a Euro. We won a Euros? Have we won a Euros? Have England won? Did they win the 2028? And I called Thomas Frank out that whole time. No. They won the 2024? They won the 2024 Euro. We didn't vote, did we? We didn't vote, did we? We got to the final and lost. And I was in Spain. And we are fuming. Not for the game, to clarify, I was on holiday, which made it even worse because it ruined the holiday. This season's Premier League was, not great. I say that, 50 points is still fairly decent for us. The interesting thing here is certainly our league positions. You can see when we were challenging for the title at some points in the season, easily challenging for top 6, top 7 for most of the season, and then it just dropped off a cliff. It is literally just 9 points from here to 6th, so I'm not angry about it at all. I think we are easily the 5th, 6th best team this season, and I do think with a bit of a fall off from some teams, there's a Premier League trophy right around the corner, especially with the growth for some of these players. 21 goals now for Profundi as the striker. We did switch back into the 4-3-3. The 4-2-3-1 wasn't really working. Wilson Dior 15 and 9. Bellingham 25 goal contributions. Quenda with a bunch as well. Dan Neil still doing bits for the club. Chris Riggs still here. 5 goal contributions. No England caps for him either. Big Dean at Spain. No Spanish caps for him just yet. Gibson at Germany, I suppose. Probably hasn't got any, has he? He hasn't. And Giovanni now has a cap and a goal for Portugal, which is cool. And Wilson, not yet. 24 goal contributions, nothing is crazy. Yang Min Hyuk is doing amazing. 50 games this season, 2 goals, 11 assists. That real creative genius we needed in the side. So very happy to have him. The 2 South Africans as well. Mokele is really, really good, still progressing very, very highly. And Charlie as well. And Gadget is still a 5-star Wonderkid. He is just 21 years of age, so still doing bits. Ayodele is still here as well as the backup striker, so he's still knocking about. And Patterson, England's number 1. What a legend. What a hero. But Season 8 is up next, and we are in the Champions League for the first time. And I also think there's a good chance, with the right summer, we make a push for the top 4. So that right summer consists of just 2 signings. Number 1 is one of the hottest prospects in world football. It is Desire Doué, who is just unbelievable in this current PSG team with Luis Enrique. And I'm signing him to potentially replace Wilson Isdior on that left wing, because this guy has been so fun to watch. Now, sad for Aston Villa, of course, but Doué, watching him, obviously I only really watch him in the Champions League. He is such a talent, so I brought him in for 56 million. And then I spent £20 million on the best young right-back on the game. It is Ryoto Hosokawa, a 20 determination Japanese right-back coming in. Everton had him for 2 seasons. They made stupid money on him. I wish I found him earlier in the J2 league as well, where he absolutely cooked. But now he's here, and he's absolutely fantastic. Let's be real. Both-footed, great stamina, great work, great determination. Up and down the pitch, whipping balls in. Is exactly what we need. He comes in that right back position. I think he starts straight away. De Smet was really good last season. Dean and Ballard. Edson, potentially DM. Also potentially Dan Neil, Bellingham, and Rigg, of course, in midfield. Quenda, Doué, Profundi. I mean, that is quite some team, isn't it? That front three, and then that midfield too as well. It's unbelievable. I absolutely love this team. We've had so much fun. We're, of course, in the Super Cup this season. FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Champions League, Premier League. And I hope this season is a good one. I think we could have a year of serious progression. And we started the season in elite fashion. We won the Super Cup, beating Barcelona thanks to goals from Amatucci and Wilson Isdior, and were unbeaten in the month of August. In September, we were knocked out of the Carabao Cup early, losing to Fulham, but got one over them next up, beating them in the league. We beat Aston Villa, we beat Leeds, we then lost to Arsenal, but beat Leicester, beat Burnley, beat West Ham, beat Forest, for losing to Manchester City, who were going to be a real rival of ours last season. And last season, they got 98 points and won the league. So that probably shows how much progression we've really had. This season, we were an absolute goal-scoring menace. And this is a game against Liverpool. Quite a good team, right? Or are they going to get absolutely pulled pillar to post by Sunderland? A penalty to kick things off, a corner for number 2. Isdior then linking up to the left-hand side to eventually find Alisson on the right-hand side for 3-0. And the 4th goal coming in the 60th minute. Amatucci, great control on the ball. Luke De Smet, Isdior spins his man, bottom corner. To see an actual Sunderland player like Wilson Isdior doing this in the Premier League is outrageous. And he's had a great season. I mean, what's that? 25 goal contributions in 39 games as our winger this year. 269 games, 83 goals. Has performed at a 6.89 average and has been absolutely fantastic. I'm a huge fan of what this guy has done for us. Obviously, an unreal season in the Championship. Step up to the Premier League has taken some time, but this season was absolutely mental. He hasn't got a France Cup yet, but it's not over yet. Or is it? Because our second half form was unbelievable. We went unbeaten in January, apart from losses in the FA Cup and Champions League, before heading into February, where we won every single game in the league, including a great victory over Arsenal. We beat Salzburg in the Champions League knockout playoff round there, and also beat Spurs in the round of 16 knockout playoff round in March, beating Burnley 5-1, putting 4 past West Ham and 3 past Manchester United. We then drew against Manchester City at the Etihad before then losing 6-2 to them in the Champions League, getting knocked out of that one, but beating Chelsea, Birmingham, Newcastle, Forest, Spurs, Southampton and Palace to finish off the season. I mean, that is a winning every single game other than drawing against City in the second half of the season. That's absolutely mental. And we have actually won the Premier League as well. Unbelievable season, 90 points, just a point clear of Manchester City, and Simona Perfundi second place to Erling Haaland in the goal scorers charts. But we were top of the big one, the points tally. And the rebuild is going to finish here, but we're going to go through pretty much every single player and check out their progress for this rebuild, because it has been an unbelievable rebuild. 90 points, 40 goal difference, 3 draws, 6 losses, 29 wins. And Sunderland are your Premier League champions. Newcastle won it in 29, Sunderland in 31. That is unbelievable. Now, of course, we didn't win the Champions League, FA Cup or Carabao Cup this season, so there is still a sort of level to go if you guys do want to pick the save up on the Patreon. A massive thank you to the legends that have signed up recently over there, and if you're signed up full time, you're an absolute legend, so thank you so much. This was our final team. Patterson in goal, Husakawa at right back, De Smit, Huysen, Ballard, Edson, Rigg, Bellingham, Quenda, Doué and Babundi. Doué this season was a very good signing, 9 goal contributions, more of a rotational player, but what a talent, and you can have so much fun with this guy in your saves. Quenda is a fantastic right winger, now a starter for Portugal. 20 assists, just a few this season, and has progressed so much since being with us as well. He has progressed mentally really well, good physically as well. He's really super quick and technically really gifted. Perfundi, I don't imagine we'll see too much growth from him, to be honest. 41 goal contributions this season is crazy. He is wanted by Juventus, so you could take £100 million. Not that you really need it because you have 159 to go and spend, but you could take that and have some fun with signing a brand new striker. He's got up only 1 in his composure. I didn't think he'd go up too much because he was great when he joined us anyway. Bellingham, no caps for England. Oh, that's so frustrating. 13 goals, 9 assists. Unbelievable in this rebuild. So fun, a Joe Bellingham rebuild. Honestly, what a player. Up so much in mentals and physicals. What a player he's been. And Chris Rigg as well. Also no caps for England. 12 goal contributions this season. To be honest, probably potentially time to move on from him or drop him into that deep line playmaker role and try and get a real serious midfielder in there to try and win the Champions League. But again, progression rise. This guy, since the age of 16, has been playing, and you can see that in his mentals as well. Such big growth from him. Dan Ballard is someone I want to touch on. Obviously, captain of the club, absolute legend. Progression has gone up. A fair bit mentally and physically, but not much technically. Just a really good player anyway. So good to see that. And Dean Huysen as well. Still no caps for the Spanish national team. And doesn't really grow too much on FM, to be honest. But we know what an absolute talent he is. So good to see him progressing. And finally, Anthony Patterson as well. England's number 1. What a legend. He is the only player that broke into that team. Growing a lot as well. What a talented goalkeeper he has been. But that is the rebuild. A Wonderkid rebuild with Sunderland. We have won the Premier League. A massive thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. We're going to have a 10 million versus £100 million rebuild coming out soon. But the next rebuild is a very fun one, where I look to break every single record with Rangers. So make sure you subscribe to the channel to see that one. I'll speak to you guys next time.